Would you say that is THX still kind of a badge of quality in current speakers now, or does that not really matter anymore?
So, in the case of consumer speakers, if you have a choice between a model and a brand that is THX certified and one that's not, what does that mean? Ultimately, what that means is the manufacturer has done their best effort to produce a good speaker, and an independent third party has verified it, has gone, I'm going to look at all the things you did. And as long as everything is done correctly, as long as the frequency response, the distortion, the dispersion, the impedance curves, all of the things that make a good speaker, which we're not going to talk about here. I have another completely other presentation on what makes a good speaker. All of those things are met, then you get a badge that says, "Yep, this independent third party has verified that it's good." Kind of like a UL listing on a product to just prove
Mm.
that you built something that's safe. So I would say it's worth it. And there's a bunch of manufacturers
Yeah.
that have gone through the process and gotten tested. And if a consumer has a choice of one or the other, um, chances are it's sort of like this one is certified by an independent third party to work well. Doesn't mean
Yeah.
that the other one doesn't work just as well, but nobody's looked at it.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you think that most speakers nowadays would pass a THX certification?
no,
No. Wow.
Really?
Okay.
there's still a lot of speakers with directivity that's quite uncontrolled, sound power response. It's not very smooth.
Hmm.
Frequency responses that are not great. No, it wouldn't be.
Are their requirements as strict as they were back then? Seeing
Yeah.
as we're seeing a lot of stuff like THX are making USB DACs for computer products and stuff like that. Does that diminish
HDMI
the
cable.
brand? You think?
So that's an interesting marketing question. I would say that within the speaker and amp business, there's now three tiers. There's the high end, which is Dominus. Dominus, I'll be back.
Yeah.
And then there's the two other levels, Ultra and I
Select.
forget the next one down. Sorry,
Select.
man.
Yeah.
Select. Thank
Select.
you.
Yeah.
Glad you're here. I think I need a little more coffee. What those different badges largely mean is a sound pressure level capability.
Yeah.
So a select speaker sounds great, doesn't play as loud as an ultra, which sounds great, doesn't play as loud as a dominus. And all of them have a radiation pattern, all of the things that make a good sounding speaker are there.
Would you think that your speakers would pass the THX certification?
I'm pretty sure they would. They're
Just
So
double
they're
checking.
built to meet and exceed those standards. And actually the first speaker we made, the Alpha, which is the big bad boy. It's interestingly enough got THX tests and approved for movie theaters up to 300 seats, so
Mm.
big.
Wow.
And yeah, so they're built on those standards, which they just make
Right.
sense, which is a dispersion
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
correct, that's lighting up the room correctly, that's driving the sound power correctly, all these different things.
how relevant are the recent THX standards like Dominus rating? So I know you kind of touched on it already, but
Yeah.
Yep, very relevant, very relevant, and uh, relevant in that sense of knowing that I'm going to say essentially an unbiased third party has verified that there's no mistakes made anywhere in the design of the thing.